What's up, everybody? My name is Kenny Johnson, and today we are going to be talking about if you should be doing a consumer proposal. Now, to be fully honest and transparent, I absolutely hate talking about consumer proposals. I think I shouldn't even be giving it any attention because I think it should be the last option because at the end of the day, it is a soft bankruptcy. But I still will talk about it because I get asked about it so much. I get asked about it so often, whether it's on Instagram, in our emails, or any other platform such as TikTok. I get asked about consumer proposals because it's highly advertised here in Canada. It seems to be like the primary go-to source for when people are in debt. People just seem to run off to consumer proposals. So I want to make sure I address that in this video. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is before you sign off on the consumer proposal, if you are not prepared to pay back or to finish the proposal, do not start. This is the most common issue that I see. So many people email my team, email the company, and they'll say, hey, I'm done with the consumer proposal. I want to take on your services and start. And we have to give them a rude awakening and say, hey, we can't help you. Because at the end of the day, you signed a very complicated contract. I like to think of it as like the devil's contract. There's no way of getting out of it until you complete it. So if you're not ready to finish the payments on a consumer proposal, if you're not done with that consumer proposal, then don't even start in the first place. And that's for anything in the financial space. Even if you take on an auto loan, if you're not prepared to financially pay off that loan until the end, don't take on that loan. If you're not ready to take on that 30-year mortgage, finish it out to the end, or be able to financially take care of that loan and pay it off in full, why are you doing it? Right? In the financial industry, it has such an impact on your personal life and it affects you in such a dramatic way. Anything that you start, you need to finish. Right now, luckily with credit repair, the businesses in the service that we offer, the clients that we work with, if they decide to wake up one day and say, hey, we no longer want to use credit repair, Kenny, we no longer want to use your services, that's okay. We let them go. There's no penalty. Um, there's no hard feelings. And in fact, a lot of our clients, they come back, right? So again, if you're not ready to take on that responsibility, and in most situations, a consumer proposal is going to be, because it depends on the amount of debt that you have, it depends on your income, it depends on how much you're going to be able to pay on a monthly basis. I've seen consumer proposals be on a 3-year term. I've seen consumer proposals be done on a 5-year term, right? So it really all depends on your situation. Now, if you start out with a 3-year term, usually if it's the same amount of debt as it would have been on a 5-year term, obviously the payment amount is going to be higher on a monthly basis. You have to be able to ask yourself, hey, am I going to be able to financially afford this on a monthly basis? And the advice that I always give someone that's currently in a consumer proposal is go ahead and try to pay that thing off faster than what you're scheduled to. So if let's say you're in year one of your CP, your consumer proposal, and you still have 4 years to go, try to speed that up as much as possible. Try to bring that to you having it paid off in 2 years rather than you having to do the whole 5 years. And the reason why is because as soon as you're discharged, you're already on the path of improving your credit. Why? Because as soon as you're discharged from your proposal, 3 years from the date of you being discharged, the proposal and the accounts included in the proposal are to fall off of your credit report. Now, my company, we try to help you speed up that 3-year process. And that's why we tell a lot of the people that we work with, go ahead and pay off that consumer proposal first, and then you can come back to us and we'll help you dispute the consumer proposal and the accounts included in the proposal, right? So the best advice if you're currently in a proposal, pay it off as quickly as possible. If you haven't started the proposal yet, then you need to analyze your financial situation. You need to say to yourself, hey, can I afford to do this every single month? Does this fit my budget? And understand that if you can't financially do it, don't sign up because once you're in it, you're in it. Okay. And fair warning that it seems like a lot of trustees don't share this with the consumer. Your consumer proposal can fail. Let's zoom in on the word consumer proposal. It is a proposal to the creditors that you're going to pay it back. This is not a guarantee that because the trustee goes to the creditors and make the proposal that it's going to actually go through and you're going to be able to ramp up. I've seen so many situations to where clients have went to a trustee to do a consumer proposal and it wasn't approved. The creditors did not agree to the terms. So it stayed on that client's credit report for 7 years. So yes, even if you don't get approved for the consumer proposal, it's still going to be there for 7 years. There's so many risks with the consumer proposal. I can't wrap my mind around why so many people choose to do it. And for you watching this video right now, you may be kind of questioning what I'm saying, but I have a different point of view because I get contacted by many people every single day that tell me that they're in a consumer proposal. So I really get a real view of how many people have a consumer proposal. It is ridiculous how many people sign up for this agreement, not fully understanding what they're signing up for. So in the financial space, kind of like what we talked about earlier, if you're not ready to complete it, don't start it. If you don't understand what you're signing, don't sign it, right? Understand when anytime you sign an agreement, it's usually in the favor of the person that presented you that contract, right? And you have to understand how is it in the favor of that person that gave you that contract, right? So it's the same. The trustee gets paid off of the deal, the banks get their money back. You think you're getting this great deal because maybe you got a discount on the debt that you originally owed. But I mean, there's so many downsides. Is it really worth it? Now you may be asking, well, what is the alternative? The alternative is for you to work directly with the creditors yourself. Cut off the middleman. Who is the middleman? The trustee. The trustee is the middleman. Cut out the middleman. Own up to the debt that you owe. You know this is your debt. Why are you trying to act like this is not your debt? This is your debt. Go to the creditors that you owe the money to. Create a budget. A lot of times, if you communicate with the creditor, if you make something of a payment, that will hold them at the gate from sending that debt over to a collection company. That will hold them in a lot of situations. This is not legal advice. That will hold them at the gate from seeking out litigation for the debt. Banks don't want to be sitting on bad debt. They don't want to have to go through the process of litigation, right? They want to be able to lend out money, you pay it back, and they get paid on interest for the debt. That's the way the game is played, and they want to see you succeed. A lot of people have this preconceived notion that banks don't want you to win. Banks want you to be able to take out debt at a decent interest rate to where you can use the debt for whatever you need to, and that they get to earn money off of the interest, right? But a lot of us are playing the game incorrectly. So if you're in this situation, hopefully you see this video before you sign off on the consumer proposal. And guess what? If you sign off on the consumer proposal and you're watching this video now, I'm sorry, it's too late, right? So, and I and I hate to come off um super brash, but this point, if you're signing off on a consumer proposal, you're a consenting adult, and you have to be able to do the research on what you're signing off on. There is no such thing as an easy fix. And the thing that I get so frustrated about within this industry is that people are selling a dream, and so many people fall for the dream. I won't even say that it's them falling for a dream. I really believe, I truly believe people want to be sold the dream. My wife tells me this all the time. People want to be sold the dream. And it's true because I see it so many times in my inbox. We turn so many people away because we know that we're not the service for them, which is okay. We probably turn away more people than we offer the service to on a daily basis because we only want to take on who we can help, right? And people will get frustrated with that and they want to be sold the dream. I see it every day, right? So instead, we have to wake up, live in reality, and understand that regardless of the route that you take, whether it's credit repair using my services, whether it's a consumer proposal, or if you go back to the creditors directly and you do this stuff yourself, you are in it for the long haul. None of this is going to happen overnight. And I've been saying this in so many of my videos, so much of my content, whether it's the short form, whether it's the long form here on YouTube. Um, I've just done this for so long now. I understand there's anyone's telling you that you're gonna fix your credit in 30 days, don't listen to them. It's not realistic. Yes, even we have clients that have fixed their credit in 2, 3 months, but that is not gonna be the case for everybody. Anytime we speak, anytime we speak to a client, we'll tell them, hey, be ready to do this for at least a year. And I'm going to emphasize at least a year because you put yourself in this situation. Those that are are the most successful in this credit repair process or this credit journey are the ones that can be accountable. Stop listening to these gurus online saying that there's these special laws that are going to get you out of this. That's not how this works. You signed a contract at the end of the day. You went to TD, you went to BMO, you went to CIBC, you went to Desjardins, whoever it was, you signed a contract and you made an agreement on this debt and then you decided not to pay it. Let's switch the roles, okay? Let's say your friend came to you, you gave them a contract, and then they say, you know what, I'm not going to pay you back. How would you feel about that? Now, obviously, in business, there's nothing personal, but how would you feel about that? You wouldn't be so willing to let that person get out of that situation. And to think that you can outsmart these banks, these financial institutions that have been around for years. I mean, these companies have some of the best lawyers. They have some of the best employees. I mean, banks are one of the highest employers throughout Canada, and you think that you're going to outsmart them. We have to be realistic, okay? So my advice to you, if I've caught you before the consumer proposal and you know that debt is yours, go directly to the creditor that you owe that money to and pay them back. It's that simple. Stop playing games. Pay off the debt, get it down to a $0 balance, and then we can start working towards disputing anything left over. Let's say we have some late payments on the account, a derogatory account, maybe it's a charge-off account. We can start working over. But the great thing about that I love about credit is that you can always bounce back. But you have to understand the game. The game is a long game, right? And you have to avoid those mistakes. But the people that I have helped that have been successful in understanding this is a long-term game, usually when they fix their credit, they very rarely get back in that same position because they understood how long it took. Okay. So I truly don't know how many variations of this video I can make, but I feel like there needs to be a voice that is realistic with people and telling them the truth on how this works. Okay. Whether you go the route of a consumer proposal, uh, you use my services, credit repair, or you go ahead and you do this independent, it is going to take time. Okay. So if you have collection accounts, because this is primarily who we work with, we primarily work with clients that have collection accounts. We primarily work with clients that have a bunch of inquiries, and I'm talking about 20 plus inquiries, and that's just with one credit bureau. Send us an email. We would love to speak with you. We would love to help advise you on what you should be doing. You can email us info@kennyjohnsonuniversity.com. I'll put it here on the screen. And until next time, peace.